What is up, guys, gals, and non-binary pals? It's good to see you again. I am Lovenji Gaming, and we are here to do episode 2 of Dark Colony, the Human Campaign. Last mission was pretty straightforward. It was a pre-deployed mission that introduced us to the Trooper. And now we're going to go into some base building, or this game's equivalent of base building. So without further ado, it's not complicated yet, so let's get this underway.
Base Camp Alpha.
Since you are obviously a born leader, we will be needing your skills protecting a base from alien attacks. We need you to begin our mining efforts in the Sen fields, located in the vast deserts of Mars. Once there, you should concentrate on mining Petra 7 and protecting our new communication satellites. Don't forget, Commander, Petra 7 vents aren't always active. Newly erupting vents can be identified by a distinct rumbling sound. The aliens have already killed one of our commanders that we had stationed there, so we advise extreme caution in dealing with the situation. After a few days, a new commander will be arriving to relieve you, so let's make his visit an enjoyable one. Good luck. Guard the communication satellites, destroy all aliens in the area, and protect your base until the new commander arrives. Hello, hello, hello. Here we are, at long last. Level 2 of Dark Colony. This time we get an exocenter, and we get to build a barracks as well. And this is going to be sort of important for us. Now, this first mission is, well, it's the first mission which involves production. Which means we have to talk a little bit about that element of the game. The resource element for this game is Petra 7, as alluded to in the introduction. In the bottom right, the numbers in blue represent the amount of Petra 7 that we have. Now, we spend Petra 7 to build units, buildings, and get upgrades. Now, very unusually, and it is again said in the intro, those holes in the ground you just saw one there are Petra 7 vents, but they can only be mined from when they're glowing yellow. And you'll know when new vents open up because there will be like a rumbling and an explosion sound. That sound you hear there is saucers. That means alien reinforcements are coming in, and you can sort of see them there. The game's quite good about indicating things with global sound effects. The Petra 7 sound is a global sound effect. The reinforcements sound of alien saucers is also a global sound effect.
Search and destroy. You got it. Search and destroy. Yes, sir. Let's go. You got search and destroy.
So, our objectives here are sort of twofold. We have to kill all of the Taar available on this map. They will continually get reinforcements as well. We must also defend those communication satellites. Now, communication satellites, I've already said this in a previous mission, but they take sort of quite the pounding, so it doesn't matter very much. You get this very loud warning sign whenever your base is under attack as well. So the game's quite generous. It provides the standard Ava UI that you would expect. You can also hear sound effects from quite wide across the map as well. So you'll always be kind of aware of what's going on. Managing your economy in this game, I find for, I cannot speak for multiplayer, so if you're looking for multiplayer advice, I'm the wrong person to go to. Just there, we've built a science lab using our money, which will allow us to upgrade. You just saw me go into the upgrade menu there. I do apologise, it's being played a little bit fast, it's a little bit hard to see. But anyway, economy-wise, I find you don't really want to go above 2 to 3 exploiters. Exploiters are the units that when you place them on top of a Petra 7 vent, they then mine and increase your income. At the moment we've got 1 exploiter, but that's because this is sort of a beginning map. I find 2 gives you an okay economy to be able to defend and sort of attack. You can see that Petra 7 vent that the Grazer stood on there is an open one. We've just used the leader's ability there, which increases the unit's fighting power a little bit. I have withdrawn a couple of units, but I've forgotten that they were on attack move, so I have to withdraw the rest. There's quite a lot of greys on this map. You may be thinking, are there loads of differences between the 2 armies? And there are some. Excuse me for not breathing enough while I'm talking. You will find that there are some differences between the armies, but not tons. These differences are mostly aesthetic, and I do say mostly. You'll find there's differences in ranges between the heavy assault unit, the Reaper, and the Psy Hunter. Those units are different, as well as some differences in the special abilities of certain units as well. But both armies get what is functionally the same unit. So they both get a trooper, they both get an infantry. For the humans it's the trooper, for the Taar it is the grey. They both get a heavy assault unit. For the humans it's the Reaper, for the Taar it's the Psy assault demon.
Yes, sir. Received. Yes, sir. Lock and load.
But what we are going to sort of do here is just build up a force. The next structure that we're going to get eventually when we have the money is going to allow us to actually build this other unit that I'm talking about, the heavy assault unit. And that'll be the Reaper, and really that's what your attacking force is going to be comprised of for the majority of the game, is infantry and heavy assault units. Heavy assault units are especially good because they just take a huge pounding, and I mean an absolutely huge pounding. The amount of hit points that the heavy assault units have versus the infantry units is extremely different. So the robot factory is going to cost us 2,000 Petra 7 there. So I'm just remembering to send out infantry to scout out those Petra veins. As you can sort of see, this is quite a sophisticated shroud system. It's what you would expect from an RTS. You can reveal the terrain, but there is a regrowing shroud that then obscures what's going on behind that terrain. The units we have access to on the right there, that is the Exploiter, our miner unit, the Trooper, which is our infantry, and a mine, which you will not see me use mines at all, but both armies do also get access to a mine type unit as well. For the humans it's called the Sentinel, and for the Taar it is called Slom, which, if nothing else, is exceptionally fun to say. Slom. Makes me feel a bit Mr. Beanie. So, right, so there's our robot factory. It's going to be airdropped in, and this is how you build, by the way. You get these giant spires, and you build off of these spires, and that's the same whether you're human or Taar. You don't get free build. You don't just get to go and establish a base anywhere. You have to build off of these spires. You can see, or you will see when I'm not selecting units, there is a new unit on the right there. It looks a bit like a walking mech. I hope you like your mechs. That is the Reaper. It is our heavy assault unit, and it's going to be the backbone for our human armies for pretty much the rest of the game. So get very familiar with it. It's a strong, tanky unit. It's ranged. It can't shoot air units, but that's not particularly important. You'll find air forces aren't hugely important in this game. There's only really 2 air units that can be built, and that's a scout. And there you go. That eruption sound was the sound of new Petra 7. You can see there's new Petra 7 opening up there. So what I'm actually going to do, because my current exploiter hasn't finished mining, I'm going to build a second exploiter and send it on up there, and that's going to increase our income as well. I do apologise for any moments of silence. This game plays quite slowly if you're not playing on like 400% speed, but I think a lot of the detail, especially if you've not played this game before, a lot of the detail can get missed at that speed. And like I said in the previous video, I wanted this more to be like a let's play and not a sort of showing off how capable I am at this game, especially because I'm not very capable at this game. We will beat this game, we will finish it. That's a spoiler for you all. But I'm certainly not a professional Dark Colony player. Now, as you can see, that Reaper is perfectly fine to take both of those Greys on by himself and barely lose any health. The health bars in this game are a little bit hard to interpret. They start as a green arrow and they get progressively darker towards red until they're basically close to black. And then the unit will die. Dead units, interestingly, they will absorb 1 additional salvo once they die, which I find interesting. I'm playing around with the waypoint here to see how it works, because I don't actually know. I don't actually know how the waypoint system works here, so I was playing around with waypoints to see if I could get these these infantry patrolling. And there you go. You've got to click back on the starting point when you're done to get the waypoints working. I won't use waypoints more or less for the entire game, so I wouldn't worry too much about understanding them. They're not necessary. But all you need to do here is just build up an army of Reapers. And these Reapers will tank for your infantry and absolutely help you massacre the sort of abundance of Greys in the south. The enemy does not have a base in this mission, which is good, because destroying bases with just infantry and Reapers, as you'll see, takes forever. Buildings take so much punishment in this game. It can be quite mature. But you can see that one Reaper, he's at the front getting fired on by all those Greys, and he's still alive. He's not going down. They're so tanky. They're so tanky. And this is why they're such an important unit in the army. You know, just a couple of Reapers changes the dynamic of the fight immensely. And there's even 1 Reaper back at our base. Just going to keep building another one. You'll notice, I don't actually remember if I talked about this before, production is instant in this game. So long as you have the resources to spend it, you click, the funds are detracted immediately, you press spacebar or click the build button and the unit will come out immediately. There's no building, construction complete, building, that you may be familiar with from the Command & Conquer games, or perhaps watching one poor villager swing his hammer repeatedly if you're more of an Age of Empires player. There's none of that. It all just comes out instantly so long as you've got the money. And that works for multiple queues as well, you know. I've got 1200 funds, so I can click on a Reaper and an infantry and click build and they'll both come out at the same time. That's particularly important. It's one of the reasons why I know in a lot of games they say don't have a bank, and I think for a lot of RTSs that logic reigns true. You know, you shouldn't have a bank because it means you're just hoarding resources that you can't spend. I think a big reason that holds true is because of the sort of production delay. You know, you have to wait for units to be produced. If you're playing StarCraft, you have to wait for your gateways or your barracks, or your lava from your hatcheries, but that doesn't really apply in this game. So building a bank, I find, can be helpful, because there's a couple of times when you get attacked by a surprise army and you're not ready, but you've got 3k in the bank, so you're just like, I'll take 5 Reapers, thank you. And that can be enough to turn the tide and win the game. That's not saying you should sit and get 10k in the bank, but having a little bit of a bank does help you suddenly defend yourself. In fact, I think we sort of did it there. We moved the infantry up and then just built more Reapers. And there you go. That attack on the north of our base is all but done for.
Search and destroy. Let's go.
So all I'm doing now is I'm just looking for the rest of the Taar. This level has basically all but been won, and it's just about identifying the Taar. Now, this does raise a thing that I didn't realise. I was actually learning this game as we played. Trying to put the exploiter back on the Petra 7 there. Petra 7 expires. You can actually mine out of it from a particular vent, which forces you to go out on the map and actually defend your exploiters. And that will become sort of important as later levels come in. They will make specific vents erupt that are going to force you to push out and actually expose yourself and need to have a force to defend it. That's kind of a common trope to these levels that will appear regardless of the campaign that we're playing on. So it's just something to be mindful of. But I mean, it makes sense because otherwise you just turtle up and camp in your base forever. So this is a mechanic I like. You know, I like being forced out onto the map. I like being forced out to play. I like it when resources are not infinite. So the Grey sort of just keeps spawning in to try and take out the radar dishes. We've got 3 exploiters worth of economy here, and you can see we've got more money than we can spend. We're overrunning the map essentially with forces. And that typically tends to be how you win a lot of the mid-game fights. Eventually we'll get introduced to a unit called the Sniper, which is Sarge for the humans, or Gorham for the Taar. And I find that the snipers and artillery units will sort of shake up how your army composition works. And you can see now, as I was saying, they're mining out, so we're actually dropping down to a 2 exploiter economy here from 3. And we've still got quite a decent income despite that. Poor injured trooper. I say poor injured trooper, he's probably happy. He's just been able to sit in that corner and do nothing. There is a day-night cycle. I talked about this in the introduction. The humans fight worse in the night, and the Taar fight better in the night. The humans fight better in the day, and the Taar fight worse in the day. Pretty straightforward, easy to remember. You can see whether it's day or night by the bottom right next to your Petra 7 count, which is going to reveal it's just a standard rudimentary clock. You've got a light shade and a dark shade. That represents day and night, dropping down to 1 exploiter economy now. And we're going into night here. It doesn't matter if you fight better at night, because we've got an absolute horde of forces. So there's a big alien push. That's sort of the final alien push. And you can see they've got Psy Hunters. Psy Hunters are the alien equivalent of the heavy assault unit. There is one big difference between them you're probably noticing already, and that is that they are melee. In my opinion, that makes them significantly worse than the human ones, and it's one major difference between the 2 armies that I don't think is negligible. It plays a particularly important part when it comes to destroying structures, because you'll find where a lot of Reapers could be shooting a building, the Psy Hunters are all fighting to get into melee range of one another. But what they lack in range, they make up for in the same tankiness that you expect all heavy assault units to have. They are actually pushing in quite nicely here. You get a commander unit, which I've already talked about his morale boost ability, but the commander actually gets promoted based on how combat is going for you. The more units that he witnesses your army kill, and it only has to be witnesses, he doesn't have to get the killing blow himself, he will get promoted. But the more of your troops that he witnesses die, he will actually get demoted. The points will subtract for casualties as well. I don't find it a particularly important mechanic, but I do find it interesting.
Lock and load. Let's go. Lock and load. Let's go. Destroy.
So all that remains is to clean up the remaining Taar. That big attack is kind of their final push, as it were. It's the signifying the end of the level. They won't really get more reinforcements after that.
Search and
And it's
destroy.
all down on you to clean them up and claim your victory. I will once again apologise for the Windows error box cursor. That will go away, will assure you. There's our last alien. And that's going to be victory for us. So I'm going to shut up now and let the video close itself.
Yes, sir. Lock and load. Those sneaky alien bastards change their tactics every time we come into contact with them. At least the communication center is safe for now.
Not the fastest victory you'll ever see on this level, but certainly not difficult. Just keep that production up. Make sure you understand the sort of core of how game production works. Keep the economy there. Make sure you have a steady income Petra 7. And watch those communication satellites. It does help that buildings are particularly resilient and quite hard to take down in this game. But they'll still go down if you don't pay too much attention to them. So just keep an eye on that. Anyway, I've been Lovenji. This has been Dark Colony Episode 2. As always, leave a comment on anything else you would like to see. Please share the video. And I love reading everything from all of you. Otherwise, bye for now.